What is up, Virgo? How are y'all doing? It is time for your extended reading for January 2024. We're just going to check one more time to see if I left anything on the table before I move on to the mid-month readings, where I look to see if timelines changed. That's actually my favorite reading of the month, to be honest with you. Anyway, you know what to do. If you would like to find out how to schedule a personal reading, just check down in the description of this video, and that's where you'll find all the information you need to know. All right, I'm just going to start this off with whoever your love interest is. Only this is not a person you have past history with. We'll look at that one next. We'll look at the past person next. This is, I guess, primarily geared toward the singles. It doesn't have to be. I mean, if you're in a relationship and you're interested in somebody else, okay. But, ideally, that's not a very smart idea. Just whoever your love interest is, man. Let's see. Anything else that I left on the table that we can tell Virgo about the person that they're interested in? Uh-oh, this is telling me that you're disappointed. Why is Virgo disappointed? What's going on? Okay, an offer is not being made. Maybe some of you, and this may not be very many of you, but if you're interested in somebody who's currently in a relationship and you're wondering if they're going to leave that relationship to get with you, it's looking like no, they're not. But I know that's not everybody. But it's screaming really loud here, so I know it's a few of you. But no, it doesn't really look like an offer's being made, and it looks like you're just sick and tired of waiting on this, honestly. Sick and tired of waiting on this. Regardless of whether or not this person is in a relationship, I do think there's some sort of third party in there. There's some other energy. There's some other person involved here of some sort. You know what, though? I'm kind of feeling like the universe is doing you a favor, though. Feeling like the universe is doing you a favor, dude. I'm not convinced that this is somebody that you need in your life. Doesn't look like it to me. It don't look like it to me. So, could be an Aquarius for some of you. I also have Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio here. Okay. Well, that didn't dig very deep now, did it? Not really. Let's see how this person feels about you and what their energy looks like then. Let's see. How's this person feel about Virgo? How's their energy look? Let's dig this up as deep as we can. Again, there's somebody else that they're interested in. There's another person in the picture here. Yeah, I think this person's ignoring this connection. They feel the connection. Oh, yes, they do, but they're ignoring it. It's not really telling me why they're ignoring it. It almost kind of looks to me like they may not really want to get involved in a serious relationship at all right now. But again, there is somebody else involved, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know if this is again, some of you, it could be dealing with somebody that is currently in a relationship and they don't want to start a new one. I don't know. It's telling me that they're ignoring this. It's not telling me why. Why is the Eight of Swords there? Why is this person ignoring this? Page of Wands. Maybe this person's just really, 2 pages. Maybe they're just really emotionally immature and they don't really know how to deal with it. Maybe, possibly. Or maybe they just kind of feel like that they're making this connection up in their head, possibly. I'm kind of feeling like you're dealing with somebody that's a little bit lost and confused, to be 100% honest with you. They feel a little lost and confused. Well, it kind of looks like we got the outcome of that. Let's see if there's any advice here. Is there any advice? Is this the best course of action for Virgo to take? Knight of Pentacles reversed. Three of Cups reversed. Don't get involved in a third-party situation. The universe is doing you a favor. Trust the universe on this one. Trust the universe on this one, man. I'm telling you, this person is not who you think they are. And if I remember correctly, I could have swore we already talked about this. So this may be the same message coming through, but this person is not who you think they are at all, at all. So just be aware that one of the biggest issues that we have when it comes to love relationships is, and we all do this as humans, we paint a picture in our own imagination of who we think someone is. And then we grow attached to the picture that we painted in our imagination. And it's very, very, very easy to paint the complete and total wrong picture of this person. And we're in love with somebody completely different than who they actually are. The universe is doing you a favor on this. Trust the process. It'll make sense one day. One of these days, you're going to see something that makes you step back and say, oh, shit, I'm so glad I didn't get stuck with that person. I'm so glad the universe did not give me what I thought I wanted. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the person you have past history with then. That one came too quick, didn't it? Person Virgo has past history with. Let's see. Anything happening? Anything I left on the table? Unfinished business, unanswered questions. King of Swords. Two of Cups reversed. I got that Page of Cups down there. Doesn't really go with the rest of this spread. It really doesn't. I got to see who's the Page of Cups. Who is that? I don't think that's them because the Two of Cups is reversed. So who's the Page of Cups there? Kind of feeling like, honestly, that's your energy. But none of that, you know what? Let me clarify this. I'm not going to lie. That spread made no sense. So before I give it my final verdict, let me just clarify it real quick. If the same message comes through, we'll run with it. But I got to double check because that was really funny. Hang on. Let me clarify that. Justice reversed. Empress reversed. Now, okay, well, I guess that was the message then. So the Fool card. Okay, so it kind of feels like I think somebody is going to make an attempt. I don't know if this is them trying to get your attention. Somebody's kind of making some sort of attempt to make contact here, but I don't think it's going anywhere. Like, I don't know, maybe this person might show up and hit like on your selfie or something like that, you know? Or shit, for some of you, maybe they'll show up straight up in your inbox. It doesn't really feel like direct communication, but it's different for everybody. But it almost kind of feels to me like you're completely ignoring this person. Or they're ignoring you. What the fuck, man? Let me look and see how this person feels about you. We got to narrow this down a little bit better, man. How's this person feel about Virgo? What's their energy look like? Whoops. Six of Swords. So they feel like they have no choice but to move on from this. Probably because they know. Yeah, I think they still got feelings for you, though. I think they do. But they feel like they have no choice but to move on from this for some reason. Like, no matter how they feel about the situation, it's a complete and total waste of time. For whatever reason, I don't know. I know maybe some of you are even, they may be the one that walked away. I don't know. They don't want you to know how they feel for some reason. There was a third party for some of you. Yeah, I think there was a third party. Well, what I really feel like they do have feelings for you. I think that at the deepest level, they would like to reconcile, but they're afraid that either you found out about their secrets or you will find out what secrets they were keeping. One of the two. Yeah, one of the two. So to avoid that, they feel like they have no choice but to keep moving on from this here. But I feel like there will be attempts to try to get your attention. Hang on, y'all. I got to clear the air. This is making for some messy energy in my studio here. Hang on. All right. Let's see the outcome of this situation. What's the outcome? Judgment. It's looking to me like you're making this decision final. So maybe they're right. Maybe they do have no choice but to move on from this. Yeah, maybe a couple attempts to try to get your attention, but somebody here is making a final decision. And a new start in love is not happening. So any attempts to get your attention, honestly, I don't think it's a reconciliation attempt per se, but it is an attempt to see if you're open to a reconciliation attempt. You know? For some of you, that may just not even hit your radar. It may fly right over your head. It may completely fly over your head. But I feel like this person's making a final decision that they need to move on from this, and there's no point in even trying to get back with you. Damn, dog. Was there any advice? Any advice? 6 of Wands. So I think it's more, the advice is more a change in perspective and a change in perception, I think. Just know that this person served as a boat anchor that kept you held back from reaching your full potential. So understand that, especially those of you on a spiritual path, as you begin to raise vibration and change frequencies. Now, this is part of the spiritual path. I don't care who you are. Don't care what your sign is. This is an immutable universal law. There is no way to manipulate this. There is no way to outsmart this. There is no way to work around this. There is no exception to this. When you start changing frequencies, you will. Not you might, not you could, you will separate from anything or anyone that is not changing frequencies with you. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. And that's a normal part of the path. It's just like imagine that you're sitting in your car and your radio is tuned to 1077 Top Country Hits. Okay. And you're tired of experiencing country music. You want a new experience, right? But you love Garth Brooks, right? Well, I got news for you. The life, the experience that you want is over here on 105.1. So you're going to have to change frequencies. The only way Garth Brooks is going to be able to go with you to change frequencies and have a new experience is if Garth Brooks makes the decision to put down the acoustic guitar and start rapping. And what's the likelihood of that? Very slim, right? It's not impossible, but it's probably not going to fucking happen. So, if you make the decision that you really want to have Garth Brooks in your life, you're going to have to stay tuned in to 93.1 Top Country Hits. And as long as you stay tuned in to 93.1 Top Country Hits, you're going to keep recycling the same experience, because that's the frequency you have to stay tuned into in order to have that person in your life. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. You know it does. That's how simple it is, y'all. That's how simple it is. And I sit back and I watch people on the daily, get on a manifestation path or an awakening path or an evolutionary path. And then things start getting staticky between them and somebody they're close to. And 9 times out of 10, you know what they do? They cling to that person for dear life and refuse to let them go. And I mean, if that's the choice you make, hey, more power to you. That's fine. But you ain't going to see a change in your life if you can't let go of something or someone that is not changing frequencies with you. You're gonna stay tuned into the same frequency and keep recycling the same life experiences over and over and over. So that's not really necessarily advice per se, as much as that is some vital information. Take that information and do with it what you will. All right. Current person. If you are not experiencing problems or issues in your current relationship, this is not for you. What's the problem? What is the issue between Virgo and the current person? Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, not a very happy home life here. Things suck at home. Maybe some of you possibly dread walking in the door. Y'all are in love, though, and you are committed to this. There's a really intense connection that you find it impossible to walk away from. But at the same time, the home life is not very happy. There's a lot of friction in the household, a lot of tension. Yeah, things just don't really seem to be moving forward between the two of you. Y'all don't really seem to be making all that much progress. If anything, y'all are probably looping around, recycling, repeating the same experiences, you know? Okay, let's see what signs I have here. I have Gemini, Taurus, Aries, Leo, and that's it. Well, that came through quick. Let's see how they feel about you. How they feel about you and what their energy looks like. How does this person feel about you? What does their energy look like? Okay. So they are starting to come to their senses. They're starting to become aware of what the problem is. I do think they're maybe in the past they were kind of trying to ignore the truth of this situation, but I think they're honestly coming to their senses and they're starting to kind of see the truth of this situation. They're aware of what improvements they need to make. Lover's card reverse. So they don't really feel like the connection is as strong as it once was. But with the 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, they don't want this to come to an end either. They feel like this is draining the shit out of them. Draining the life force energy right out of them. So, yeah, they're not too happy either. But they don't want to walk away from this. They don't want this to come to an end. They are very willing to figure out how to work on this and get to work on this. I think so. Yeah, looks pretty good. Looks pretty solid. Could be a Sagittarius for some of you. Also have Leo and Cancer. Okay. Looks pretty good, though. Looks pretty daggum good, though. All right, what's the outcome for January? Outcome for January. Four of Pentacles reversed. Ace of Pentacles reversed. Okay, Hierophant. So, like I said, you're staying committed to this. I don't see you going anywhere, but there's still a lot of tension. Still a lot of tension, and tension is building. It's building, and we're going to have to do something here because even though y'all are trying to work this out, the energy is building faster than you all are working through it. So if it's building faster than you're able to work through it, it's eventually going to end up popping. And the Death card. So this is on thin ice here. Very thin ice. What's the advice? What is the advice for a Swords reversed? Three of Wands reversed. Don't be waiting for things to just get better. Nothing in life just gets better. You know, you hear people ask those kind of questions all the time. Will my finances get better? Will my relationship get better? Yeah, no, nothing in life just gets better. You got to get better. But for the most part, you know, you got to get better. You got to work harder. That doesn't mean that you're at fault. Doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. That's just the way life goes. I was just telling Leo. Well, and this, when it comes to the current person readings, this is a pretty common, regular piece of go-to advice. That the only thing you can do is start getting to work on you. It's all that you can really do. I would say focus on one little emotional trigger at a time. One little belief system at a time that might be getting in your way. I mean, at some point in time, we all have to kind of take a step back and acknowledge our own beliefs. Because at the end of the day, that's the box that we live in, is our own little belief box, you know? And most of the time, not all the time, but a vast majority of the time, it's not the thing that's happening in life that is the problem. It's what we believe and how we respond to it. The overwhelming majority of the time. Whatever this thing is that pisses me off so bad, I have one or two choices. I can either keep defending why I'm so pissed off about this and this, that, the third, and the other thing, or I can take a step back and ask myself, well, what if that didn't piss me off anymore? Imagine a world where that thing could happen and not bother me. What would that feel like? What would that feel like, man? That thing that's been pissing me off my whole life. Every time somebody does this thing, every time somebody says this one thing, every time I experience this particular scenario, I get so mad. And I've been that way my whole life. What would it feel like if that thing could happen and not bother me? Wouldn't that be a more realistic and logically sound expectation to have rather than to expect and demand life to stop putting me in that situation? What if I could just change the way I respond to it? What if I could do that? Now, as easy as that is to say, it's hard to fucking do, isn't it? Oh, it's hard to do, dude. It's hard to do. And it can give you a fucking migraine when you very first start working on that. Oh, it can give you a migraine. It'll make you feel like you're about to explode. But it gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier and a little bit easier day by day by day. And if you keep consistently working on this, and every time that person does that thing or that person says that thing, or you find yourself in that particular scenario and you catch yourself being triggered, you stop yourself. You stop yourself and you force a new thought. You force a new thought. So you're fighting against the program. The program has been doing its own thing on autopilot your whole life. But no, I'm taking control of this now. So now whenever the computer program, my subconscious program kicks in, subconsciously without my voluntary control, I'm going to take control and I'm going to stop it. And it can be a pain in the ass at first. And it is, man. It's not fun. This is not fun shit we're talking about here, dude. This is not fun shit. But if you stay consistent with it, and we're humans, we're all going to slip. None of us are perfect. This takes work, dude. Eventually, though, as long as you stay consistent with this, after 6 months, a year, year and a half, 2 years, you're going to find yourself in a situation where one day you're going to stop and go, whoa, that thing just happened 15 minutes ago, and I didn't even think about it. Whoa, dude, that used to piss me off so bad when that would happen. Now it just happened like 15 minutes ago and I didn't even realize it. Dude, I've fucking written new connections in my brain. I unwired that old program and rewired a new program with thought alone. Holy shit, dude. That's what I mean. That kind of shit right there is what I mean when I say get to work on you. When I say do your own inner work, that's an example of what I'm talking about. And it's kind of a simple example. It does get deeper and more complicated and convoluted than that. But man, that's it right there. That's it. That's inner work. That, believe it or not, that's an evolutionary path when you're doing that kind of work. It's not fun. It sucks. But as long as you're willing to do that work in your own head with yourself, it's a battle between you and you, dude, that branches out and extends out to areas, aspects, and facets of your life that you're not even consciously aware of. That'll start improving your relationships. That'll start improving your friendships, the connections that you have with your friends and your family. And then eventually, once you get that ball rolling fast enough, you change to a completely different vibration eventually, and you start attracting totally different types of people, situations, and scenarios into your life. And then you keep that ball rolling for a good 3, 4, 5, 6 years. One day you're going to be fucking looking around at a life that you don't even recognize. You're going to look down and see a person. You're going to look in the mirror and see a person you don't recognize. Real talk. Real talk, y'all. And yes, you literally turn into a different person. When I say literally, I mean they can scan your brain and see the new connections that you can write yourself. You are not a victim of your own fucking brain. No, you're not. You have the power to write new connections in your own brain with thought alone. And that's how you do it. Well, that's one of the ways you can do it. But anywho, I fucking trailed off and went on a hell of a tangent with that one, didn't I? Anyway, I feel like those were the messages that my Virgo friends needed to hear. So I am going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you all once again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget to check down there in the description of this video if you would like to find out how to schedule a personal reading. And I'm out of here now, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Y'all stay blessed.